Welcome back to Sushimi's House. I'm your loving host, Master Sushimi, joined today by my sweet sister, Eyesight Bubbie.
Hello.
We're back with some more of the Outbound Ghost. We just had a really glitchy fight,
And
but
then,
we're
okay,
we're surviving.
Deep Totoro Wald made me think of Deep Tater Tot.
I thought you were saying something about Totoro, and I was like, what are you on about?
Totoro World. This is where Totoro lives. I actually don't want to fight anymore. Keep your tongue to your fucking self. We are in a
Honestly.
pandemic. What is your damage? Almost made me do a cuss.
You really actually did do a cuss.
No.
Bubbie, you said keep your tongue to your fucking self
Oh.
in like the first 30 seconds.
Oh no! I meant something I was going to say after that. Completely missed that I said.
That you already cursed?
Oops. Yeah. Completely. Almost made me do a cuss as I said the worst one.
Almost made me do a fucking cuss.
Oops.
You dumb shit.
Look what you made me do. Ah.
Beans.
Dicks. Fine. It's been a minute.
It doesn't matter. Like, you've already done.
I'm sorry. You know what? It's okay. This one's on us. Comedy's free on this one.
Yeah, this one you guys get on the free ski, I guess.
As opposed to all the other ones.
Right. I don't monetize, so, like, this is mostly just trying to build a good habit for us.
I know.
Except, you know, we got Bubbie in the mix. Foul mouth Bubbie over here.
Yeah, I will say. Well, I think that. Oh, sorry, I bored myself.
Oh, shit.
I wonder if that was my body being like, is what you're going to say actually going to be anything? Anyway. God, I got you too.
Well, you yawned, and that's all it takes.
I know. I babysat the other night, and I realized how good I am at not cursing around around the girls that I babysit.
Must be nice.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Well, I'm just like, why can't I say I'm not relaxed with them though? But I guess I'm relaxed here. I don't know. And
There she goes.
you're right. How long can I go without cursing?
6 minutes?
I think
Maybe?
I think I do it a lot because my ex at some point made some comment about how it's like I've had 3 people in my life make some sort of comment about it that I think just made me go, actually, I'm gonna do it harder now. I'm gonna do it more.
That's fair. My ex also did like a...
Yeah.
She said that her mother said it made you look ugly. And it's like, first of all, your mother's a whore. Second of all, that's dumb shit.
Your ex told me that it made people sound unintelligent. I was like, oh yeah? I forget what my ex said. I think my ex may have said something along the lines of like, it's just rude or it makes you sound unintelligent or meh. Like he was basically like, I'm gonna do it less so I sound smarter. And I'm like, wow, you're so desperate to seem smart to anybody without actually being smart.
That tracks very hard.
But yeah, you knew him, so that makes sense. And then
He was always so mad that I just tested better than him. And it's like, dude, literally none of this matters.
He was mad that I was a junior marshal and he wasn't. Like, not congratulations, I'm proud of you, my girlfriend, for being a junior marshal, but like, how dare you? And it's like, wow. I should have known, but oh well, whatever. Anyway, when I was in college, literally, actually, like, oh my god, why are you here? First semester of college. So like, very freshly started, barely 18. Actually, it may have been like my first year. Whatever. I was part of this program.
God, I forgot about this. I repressed this.
Yeah, I don't because it really, really ticked me off. I was part of this program, which is actually where I met Jonathan and some of the friends I have now, including a Marine friend. He probably doesn't.
And bestie to some extent.
Bestie long term, yes. Because I met her boyfriend, but did not know her at the time. Years later, they started dating, and then now her and I are best friends. And so we had access, like, there was this building that only we had access to not building, but like area. Building actually is the good term for it, because really it was a building. Only we had access to this building as part of this program. It was like a program specifically for first generation college students. Which you had to like apply for.
When did we pick this up?
Oh, we just leveled a moment or two ago, so maybe then.
I guess so. I wasn't paying attention.
And so we had access to so that included like a pretty decent sized computer lab and study space that my friends and I, of course, used the crap out of, especially because a lot of the people that we were in this program with, after a couple weeks, months, semesters, just like stopped really being involved with the program, stopped actually taking advantage of it. So it was like our own personal library. Like, we didn't go to the library to study. We went to the library to just like fuck around. Not even the library. There was the quiet room, study room / class room. It had multiple names where we would sometimes go just to kind of fuck off because they would be a little limiting in the space that we were in. But anyway, one of the few times I was in there by myself, I was at a computer doing some work. And I always sat at one of the first computers that was near the table my friends and I were always at. That was like our table. And people knew that. You know, we just, you know, I don't know. We were a pretty big group in size. And while I'm sitting there, I'm texting Sush, actually. And somebody that worked there, we'll call him, I don't think I'm a bad name, Fuckhead. Fuckhead walks up. He works there, keep in mind. So he's like an adult. And walks up. He always kind of hung around me, and that's a whole other thing that I'll get into. But he looks over my shoulder and reads my messages and makes some comment. And I had, of course, sent some curse word at Sush. And he was like, oh, like, I forget what exactly he started it with, but basically was like, oh, like, you use curse words or something. And I was like, oh, well, you know, I'm texting my, like, brother, and he, like, you know, we're just messing around, you know, like siblings or whatever. And he was like, well, it's not very,
ladylike.
It's not very ladylike to curse, and it, like, you know, it when you curse near somebody, it's not very ladylike, and it's not very, it doesn't give anybody a good image of you. It doesn't, like, impress them. Like, he used the word, and it's, like, one of the best comebacks I've ever had. At least I felt good at the time, because I turned and looked at him and went, well, I'm not here to impress anybody. Like, that wasn't, or no, it was, attract. That's what it is. It's not very ladylike, and it's unattractive. And I turned to him and I said, well, I'm not here to attract anybody. And he was just like, oh, and, like, walked away. So anyway, this guy...
You guys ended up getting that fucker fired, yeah? Or, like, moved?
They moved. They did not fire him. Moved because he was keeping pictures of... Nothing, like, explicit, because, I mean, he worked at a fucking college campus, but he was keeping pictures of female students, including myself, in a folder that my friend happened to walk up to his office to, like, ask him something, and saw the folder and was like, oh, and then told me immediately, like, I need you to understand, this man has a folder of pictures of you and I. And it wasn't just us. He also was taking pictures of female students' feet and keeping that. Yep. A different friend told me, like, you know, he always comments on mine or some of my friends' feet, like, because we were, like, if we were sandals or something, like, in the summer semesters or spring or whatever. Yeah. So anyway, this guy is an absolute trash bag. He got moved. I was kind of disappointed in that program that they didn't really fire him, but I think that was perhaps outside of their capability. I don't know, actually. I know that when I told the I didn't actually, she unfortunately passed before I was able to tell her anything.
Oh, just straight up?
Yeah. She passed from cancer. I went to her, like, her funeral and everything. Yeah. She passed January 3rd or 8th. It was, like, literally, like, the first week of our sophomore year spring semester. Like, cause I remember, like, I got to school and, like, I was like, where is, you know, I went Madam Director by, you know, Mrs. Director. And they were like, oh no, she passed, or like somebody later was like, she passed away last night. And I was like, what? Like, this is so weird. Like, it's like our first day back, and it just felt so like, oh, she should be here. Like, nope. And she was incredible. She actually, I had okay, God, a lot happened in college, early college for me. So as part of this program, again, we were first generation college students, and a big thing they offered was your summer before your freshman year, for a couple weeks you could take some classes and basically get like free credits. So I got like 3 very basic education credits, as well as like a exercise or gym class credit, because you had to have one of those, as well as like basically your orientation sort of class. So I did not have to do anything like that. And what I did was honestly more helpful. And also, again, it was a couple weeks.
Ooh.
So I was on campus like in the summer. So like I was pretty familiar with campus and that building before anybody started, because we just like did this program. And again, this is where I meet Jonathan. And then we just kind of, kept hanging out throughout the years and stuff. And there was a guy
and 8 years later, they're still hanging out.
We're still hanging out. Have not hit the dating spot. Okay. That'd be wild. So
there's people who are like that.
I know. I would not honestly be surprised if him and I had ended up like that kind of people. And
another grave over there.
There was a guy that worked. Oh God, there is, yeah. There's a guy that worked there who was also a student. And he was like an older like student, like older as in like, 30s maybe. Just like a guy. And he, I saw him as like a staff member. Also keep in mind, which he may not have known, I was 17 when I started this, because I'm one of the younger ones of my classes. So, whole month before my birthday, I happened to be, again, alone. I learned very quickly I could just not be alone without my friends on campus. Shenanigans always ensued when I was by myself. So very quickly, both Jonathan and Marine friend kind of became bodyguards and did not leave me alone. Hell, even Bestie's boyfriend kind of made it a point to always like be around. Like, him especially did not like me walking late at night by myself, or like being left alone anywhere. Like, they just were very like, no, you're baby, you gotta be protected. So I was there and like I think printing some stuff, whatever, waiting on my friends to show up. And he starts asking about like, what do I like to do, and like what are my hobbies, and where do I live, and then he makes some comment like, oh, something your boyfriend. And at this point, I'm not dating Jonathan. I was like, oh, we're not like, he's not my boyfriend, we're just like friends, even though like I liked him, but we weren't dating. He's like, oh, he's not your boyfriend. And then starts asking more and more, and eventually asks me out. And I was like, nope. And so I did not like love that. And I forget how it even came up, but I just at some point went to the director's office to talk to her about something not even related to that. And that somehow came up. I don't even remember how or why. And she was basically like, somebody that worked for me made you uncomfortable? And I was like, oh, but like, it's okay. Like, it was my fault. Like, I didn't actually make things clear, I just kind of was like, it took me a bit to even realize I was being asked out, because I've never been good about knowing when people are asking me out. I like even had given him my number before, like in a few conversation beats before he asks me out to like go see a movie or something. Because again, I'm not thinking, oh, he's asking me for my number because he wants to like go out with me. I'm thinking like, oh, this staff member wants my number just in case. It just seems like a good thing for him to have.
Oh, Bubbie.
Like, so over my head, And I think I like lied to him and said that like, oh, no, when he asked me for my phone number, I'm like, like at that point I'm kind of like, oh no. That's what it was. I remember now. I was actually like, oh God, he's asking me for my number. No, oh no. And I think I like lied and said my phone was dead or something. I didn't have a way of being like, no. And so I kind of explained to her the situation because I think she just like noticed I was uncomfortable around this guy or something. I don't remember what it was. Again, it was something like I didn't go talk to her about. It just came up that she had noticed, I guess.
Right.
And she basically was like, I want you to know that it is okay to say no. You are allowed to say no. No is an option. From now on. You got it? And I was like, yeah. She's like, no, not just here. Forever. For the rest of your life, no is an option. And like, God, I'm like tearing up because like that stuck with me like crazy. Like, I don't think I knew and still struggle saying no. Literally something that like my therapist has talked to me about like being good about saying no to things because like I like being a yes woman. I like being like, yes, I can help you. Yes, we can hang out. Yes, we can, I like it. But
I think anxiety also plays into that.
100%.
It's just like, oh, if I don't say yes to this, they won't like me anymore.
100%. Oh yeah. Oh yes.
We can get the Corvids.
There's a lot of components to it.
There's moving parts.
Yes, yeah. But so big. I don't like
Sonic
that there's
cuts.
multiple of them.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the fact that it's the two types we've seen.
Yeah, because then that means there's gonna be some variety. There's gonna be some smoke screens and some bolts, some zaps, or no, it's bolt. But anyway, yeah. So that was like a big thing. So she taught me no. So then, we find out that fuckhead is being a creep after she passes away. Because I'm sure she would have
Shut that shit down.
Oh my! She would have had him fired the next day, the moment she found out. But I think we were, and of course, I'm sure this sounds familiar to somebody on the other end hearing this. Like we were afraid of saying anything for like the repercussions. I liked this program and I liked what it had to offer. I was able to take a 4-credit calculus class for free. Actually, not even for free. I got paid to take that class because I had a scholarship through that program that covered my summer tuition. Because my scholarships did not cover summer, obviously, because people aren't usually taking classes on summer. But I was trying to like make up for the fact that I had not done well in calculus before, and I needed to take it before graduating. And I expressed this to that program, and they were like, "Oh, we have a scholarship. Do you want it? Like, just apply." I was like, "Oh yeah, I hope I get it." And they're like, "Huh, yeah, we hope you get it." I was the only one that applied. I was getting it no matter what. So like, I was like reporting this guy, like, what's that gonna look like? Like, if they don't get rid of him, my life's like a living hell now, because he knows that I reported him. Which again, him not getting fired and getting moved to a different department, the few times I had to go to the department, like, it was uncomfortable because I was like, oh, you're here. And I know that at some point in my life, you somewhere had pictures of me, and like, that's the worst part. Like, part of his job for that program was the photographer.
Yeah.
He was the photographer for that group. So like him taking pictures was not weird, but it became weird when I found out that there was a dedicated folder of me and other women. So that was a whole thing. But anyway, she was incredible. Just like no bullshit woman. She always gave Jonathan had very long hair, not very long, but like long hair, your typical like kind of Bieber, fling back hair. And she would always like give him shit, being like, that, like, you look good now, but that long term you gotta get that taken care of, man. Like, you gotta look like an adult. Like, that's not professional, but like kind of fucking with him, like she was still. So like when he eventually did get his haircut and she had already passed, I kind of like had a moment where I looked at him and I'm like, oh, like, she didn't get to see you with your haircut. And he was like, yeah. He was like, I'm sure she would like have liked seeing you like this. Hell, I sometimes think about like going back to visit, because I did go like a couple years ago, right around when I started PA school. And the like vice director, who is now the director, he's also a wonderful man, so sweet. And I'm sure he would also like be so proud of us if he saw us now, like, so it's nice. I don't know. But I learned that, and I learned very much to like go with your gut feeling. That one, the vice dean. He was kind of also a no bullshit man. Loved him, joked around, whatever. At some point, he like dropped an F-bomb in the meeting where we're telling him about this guy. But both him and somebody else present at that meeting were very much like, you should go with your gut feeling. Like, if something makes you uncomfortable, it's making you uncomfortable for a reason. So I don't know. I appreciate the shit out of those kinds of people, because someone like me, clueless and naive, like I didn't know. I didn't know how to say no. I didn't know that if I'm uncomfortable, there's a reason for it. So anyway, next time.
Oh yeah, wow, that went on for a bit.
I know.
Next time at Tsushimi's house, we're gonna keep struggling through this fight. This one's tricky.
Yeah, I'm sure. I missed it because I was talking.
Later, folks.
Bye.
You gotta know you're in for something special. You gotta feel it in your bones. Oh, you're gonna find what you need all in time. If you're looking for it, na 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 na. If you're looking for it, na na.